John Travolta, born on February 18, 1954, in Englewood, New Jersey, was the youngest of 6 children. His father, Salvatore, worked in the tire business, while his mother, Helen, had been a radio singer before becoming a teacher. The Travolta household was marked by financial hardship, with money often tight and dreams seemingly distant. Yet, despite the constant struggle, Helen's words of encouragement shaped John's early life. She believed in the power of talent and vision, teaching him that success wasn't defined by wealth, but by spirit and perseverance. John's childhood was a mix of hardship and hope, where every meal felt earned, but where dreams were nurtured by a mother who saw potential even in the smallest moments. Her support planted the seeds for a life he would one day change forever. Choosing the path of an actor. At 16, John Travolta made a life-altering decision that would shape his destiny. He dropped out of Dwight Morrow High School, choosing to follow his dreams of becoming an actor rather than pursuing the safety of a traditional education. Remarkably, his parents supported this decision, understanding that if he were to pursue this path, he would need to give it everything he had. Travolta's journey took him to New York City, where he slept on floors and fought for roles. His early years were filled with auditions, rejections, and jobs that barely paid enough to survive. But Travolta's resolve was unshakable. Failure was not an option, not when his mother's faith in him was the fuel that drove him forward. With each rejection, he grew more determined to prove that talent, not money, was the key to success. The breakthrough. Welcome back, Kotter and fame. In 1975, John Travolta's big break arrived with Welcome Back, Kotter. As the lovable and goofy Vinnie Barbarino, Travolta became a household name almost overnight. At just 21 years old, he found himself the center of attention, with fans screaming his name and his face gracing magazine covers across the country. The show catapulted him to fame, and he soon began to experience the joys and struggles of celebrity life. For the first time, he no longer had to worry about the constant pressure of financial insecurity. His fame opened doors that had once seemed locked, but fame is a double-edged sword. Though Travolta was now a star, he quickly realized that being adored by millions was no guarantee of happiness. Despite his newfound success, the weight of fame came with its own set of challenges. Love and loss. The tragic story of Diana Hyland. In 1976, on the set of The Boy in the Plastic Bubble, Travolta met Diana Hyland, an actress 18 years his senior. Though their age gap seemed unconventional, their love was profound and immediate. Travolta was deeply smitten, describing his feelings as nothing he had ever experienced before. But their love was short-lived. Diana, who had battled cancer for years, was in the final stages of her illness when they fell in love. During the filming of Saturday Night Fever, while Travolta's career was soaring, he also became a caretaker, holding Diana's hand as she faced death. Tragically, on March 27, 1977, Diana passed away in Travolta's arms, leaving him devastated. At just 23 years old, Travolta experienced the kind of loss that most people never face. The grief became an inseparable part of his life, shaping his character and career in ways he would never fully escape. The fall and the fight for redemption. By the late 1980s, Travolta was no longer the young star he had once been. His career was in tatters, and he had become a cautionary tale in Hollywood. However, in 1989, Travolta's fortunes began to change with the success of Look Who's Talking. The quirky romantic comedy about a talking baby became a box office hit, grossing $297 million. It wasn't a full-blown resurrection, but it was a lifeline. Travolta followed it up with sequels and continued to work through the 1990s, but it wasn't until Quentin Tarantino came calling in 1994 that the true revival began. Tarantino cast Travolta in Pulp Fiction, a film that would forever change his career. His portrayal of Vincent Vega, the cool but troubled hitman, earned him his second Academy Award nomination and reintroduced the world to his unique magic. The resurgence, Pulp Fiction, and the 1990s. Success, Pulp Fiction did more than revive Travolta's career. It redefined it. His performance was a masterclass in understated chaos, bringing a new depth to his acting. The film won the Palme d'Or at Cannes, and Travolta was once again a box office draw. He followed it up with successful films like Get Shorty, Face/Off, and Primary Colors, commanding $20 million per film. The 90s were a decade of triumph, a glorious return to form. For a brief time, Travolta was back at the top, living the kind of career that most actors can only dream of. But the shadow of past pain, the loss of Diana, the collapse of his career, never fully disappeared. Success, it seemed, could only mask the ache for so long. Personal losses and family tragedy. In 1991, Travolta married actress Kelly Preston. With Kelly, he found a sense of peace and love that had long eluded him. They had 3 children together, Jett, Ella, and Benjamin. But tragedy struck once again in 2009, when their 16-year-old son Jett passed away after suffering a seizure while on vacation in the Bahamas. The loss was devastating, and Travolta spoke of the heartbreak of losing another loved one so suddenly. It was a cruel and tragic echo of the pain he had experienced with Diana. Just a year later, Kelly gave birth to their youngest child, Benjamin, bringing a glimmer of hope and renewal to their lives. But in 2020, Kelly Preston passed away from breast cancer at the age of 57, completing a tragic circle in Travolta's life. Both Diana and Kelly had succumbed to the same illness, and the loss was unbearable. Living with grief and finding strength. After Kelly's death, Travolta was left to raise their children alone. In a heartbreaking conversation with his son Benjamin, Travolta spoke about the fragility of life, teaching his son that death is a part of the human experience. Despite the immense grief he carried, Travolta has found ways to continue living and supporting his family. Now at 70, Travolta resides in Ocala, Florida, where he lives with his children and continues to work on his own terms. His career has faded, with recent films earning little, but Travolta's legacy remains untarnished. He has endured unimaginable loss, and yet he continues to give. Through his charity work and his role as a father, Travolta's life teaches us all that survival, love, and endurance are the true triumphs in life. Even when the music fades, the dance continues.